Um, this is Sweet Saturday. I'm still workshopping the name, so just kind of bear with it. Um, so here's the deal. Normally these are supposed to be 4 to 8 hour streams. This one's going to be cut short. Um, Mostly by virtue of the fact that I have to work on my car. Um, we don't have jumper cables. My jumper box is, how you say, not working. Um, so it has, we don't have jumper cables. So what has effectively happened is I'm stuck at home for now until I can get off of my rump and go do adulty things. But before we do that, we're going to cover the weather, some news stories. Let's see. Rain from, yeah, we're good. We're actually quite good then. Rains at all because my phone said something completely different. So. Okay. Oh, let's see. We got another Popeyes, yet there's no Sonic up here. Huh. That's interesting, I guess. Not really into sports. I don't like the fact that someone's getting taunted over their parentage. Oh. Really? That's interesting. The JD Vance memes, man, they're actually quite funny. This story can be trusted, but it's of interest. Oh, yeah, I could destroy MSNBC on that one, too. Oh, it's rather a simple matter, actually. You just say that your parentage have to be citizens. If your parentage isn't citizens, then neither are you. It's not that fucking hard. Yeah. Well, that bitch needs to be fired anyway. Alright. Canada's response.
after she called on two of LA's largest gangs to take on federal immigration agents.
I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all in that territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, they're going to peep out of you. So whoever's the leadership over there, just get your members in order.
I'm going to pause that for just a minute. And I'm going to use her own words on her. The biggest gang that there is. Yeah, okay. So here's your problem. I was never in a street gang, but I've known several members, and I'm not going to use their names or rat them out, but they all kind of had the same kind of credo. Fuck the feds. Stay the fuck away from them. They're not worth the fucking headache. There's kind of a reason for that. And that reason is, no one wants that kind of juice. No one wants that kind of beef. You do not want to assault or take out a federal agent, because instead of, them having to regroup and recalibrate, they'll regroup and recalibrate right over your fucking skull. And not have a second hesitation about it. There is a solid fact in the United States: no gang wants to be on the federal government's bad side, and there's a good fucking reason for it. The federal government can have about 6 different agencies with thousands of members at your doorstep within under 12 hours. Maybe even sooner. And if you decide to take things further than that, well, the United States president might just decide to send a couple of Marines after your ass. And if you think that's bad enough, if you've gotten to that point, you've garnered enough media attention to where the crazy rednecks and the people wearing skulls on their fucking t-shirts and have admittedly Frank Castle-esque gear start coming out of the fucking woodwork to hunt your ass because you probably have more than a little bit of a fucking bounty on your head. It'd probably get someone a fucking medal. So here's the problem. You are giving rabidly psychotically nationalistic individuals, and I'm not saying this to say that they're bad people. There's nothing wrong with supporting your nation and loving your nation and the country that you live in. I'm rather referring to the people who would look to use that as an excuse to, to do the thing that they always wanted to do. Namely, half of them would probably just like to drive killdozer over someone's house. Just on principle. Just for something to do. Okay? A lot of my favorite content creators in the 2A space like to kind of get a little sheepish around this topic because it's not really one that... It's kind of like meme territory, really. And it's just really easy to make fun of them, but there's a certain reality to it. When you fuck around with federal agents, when you piss off the federal government, and they decide that you're worth the effort, well, I'd say you done fucked up, but at that point, if you're living through that right now, you've probably already realized that you've made a mistake. Okay, and here's the thing. Gangs and gang leaders might not be like criminal masterminds by any stretch of the imagination, or they could be, right? It doesn't matter, because this is like one of those ground level everyone knows not to do things, right? It's kind of like putting your hand on a wood stove that's lit and been lit for about an hour, right? You'll only ever do it once. Unless you've lost feeling in your hands, in which case you'll probably also only do it once because you'll realize that, oh yeah, I just lost some friggin' skin on that. So no, it's really just a matter of it's heat that no gang wants, right? Hell, even the cartels don't want that kind of heat because they know what can come next. They're a foreign entity that's officially been declared a terrorist organization, and they're extremely fucking smart to pull away from the border and say, oh, well, we'll just wait 4 years. Of course, what they don't realize is that a lot of people are going to vote for the guy who's going to keep putting the fucks to them. So it's going to end up being closer to 12 years, not 4. So, yeah, there's that too. Alright, what was it here? So, as a general rule from the street, no one wants federal attention.
Cudahy, California Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez mentions the infamous 18th Street gang in Florencia. These gangs have a reputation for extreme violence. Targeted
But they're not stupid.
Rival gangs and innocent civilians, drug trafficking and extortion, sexual violence and exploitation, and that's just the first drop in the bucket.
But they're not stupid.
The LA Police Union Chief wants Gonzalez held to the highest account, telling Fox News Digital, quote, she should definitely resign from her position, and the district attorney or U.S. attorney should bring charges against her if she crossed any legal lines. These gang members are known to be violent. They have killed law enforcement officers in the past. And it is completely irresponsible and reprehensible for Gonzalez to...
Yeah, and even the gangs are probably like, oh, please do something about this bitch.
Leslie, that's near your hood.
Yep.
Talk to me about how the community feels about her call to action here. And I'm really hoping that they stand with law enforcement in there and see that this is reprehensible too.
Oh, I'll tell you what they think, because I live in Los Angeles, and thank you so much, because I'm so tired of watching people on TV. Across the board, never been to LA telling me what they think. What she said was disgusting. I would agree there. Overwhelming majority of people, even in that community, think that that's disgusting, that she should resign or she should be terminated. But what we further find disgusting, yesterday at my post office, we had ice in the parking lot. My post office is ground central for everyone who lost their home or their home was damaged like mine in the Eaton Canyon fire. These people are traumatized, and you got these guys, you know, and we don't even know if they're really ICE. They're refusing to give their names, their badge numbers, show their faces. What we are upset about in California is that we don't have ICE going after these gangs. They know where they are. And believe me, these gangs and these gang members, they're not washing dishes. They're not at Home Depot. They're certainly not the mother breastfeeding the baby. They're certainly not the cancer victim. They're certainly not in the elementary schools or at the graduations. And those are the people that...
You live in a sanctuary state, okay? So if ICE goes after the gangs, the LAPD have been told, back off, don't help ICE find people. No, come on, Leslie,
Aaron,
you know you
sorry.
live in a
There's
sanctuary
video
state.
everywhere with LAPD assisting ICE in Los Angeles. There's video yesterday morning of that. And there's real-time live stream. There's tape. It's all over. You can Google it. I'm sorry. What we want is the worst of the worst. And those gang members,
So you better get rid of
we
that
want the
sanctuary
drug
state
traffickers,
governor
the
you have
sex
going on.
traffickers, the gang members. We want them deported, not the children, the cancer victims, the women breastfeeding their
So
babies.
where's the protesting to support the LAPD? Where's the protesting to call and thank you publicly to the ICE agents to go out and get the bad guys, the worst of the worst? Where
Because
is
they're
all of
not out getting the worst of the worst.
Yes,
Where I live, no, they're not. They're not. They're going into churches, elementary schools, graduations. And that's another thing. It's not what they're doing, it's the way they're doing it. Example, you're at your kid's high school graduation.
Doesn't fucking matter where you are. No. Sorry, lady, but you're not going to be able to pull that sympathy bullshit. Okay, this one's going to address the situation between Canada and the U.S. Namely, my interest is in the fucking the attempt at digital tax that fucking Canada wants to try to impose on people from the United States because they put stuff online. I got a newsflash for you. I'm not a Canadian citizen, and I don't give two flying fucks what your taxes are. You have no jurisdiction to impose them here, so fuck yourself. Now, for the questionable story of the day.
What if that same drug could make you live longer? Scientists at San Francisco startup Loyal created a beef-flavored daily pill called Loy2 that they say can give senior dogs at least 1 extra year of life. reducing frailty by curbing aging-related increases in insulin. The founder of Loyal, Celine Halia, now believes their discovery will benefit humans too, telling The Guardian, finding out how to prevent canine age-related decline is a really strong proxy for doing the same with humans, because dogs get similar age-related diseases and share our environments and habits in ways laboratory mice do not. The drug is currently
Speaking of
being
Mr.
tested in a
Poppers,
nationwide study to evaluate its safety
do you
and
want us?
effectiveness in real-world
Does your baby want
veterinary
us?
settings with pets. It's not clear if human
He says,
testing
"Yeah,
will
Dad,
happen
let me
anytime
stretch.
soon."
I gotta
Loyal
stretch."
plans to launch
Oh,
the
come on.
pill for dogs
Jump.
early next year.
Hop
Meantime,
over.
A similar goal is being
Come
looked at the University of Washington, but with a human drug that could also help dogs. Researchers with the Dog Aging
Hey.
Project are studying rapamycin, which is commonly used in human organ transplants. Researchers believe low doses could extend canine lifespans by 3 years while improving heart
You
and
can do
cognitive
it.
functions. Results from the project are expected in 4 to 5 years. For all your latest news
He
headlines,
can. He just doesn't
download
have the
this
energy
video
right now, I guess. That's interesting. Very interesting. Especially if they figure out how to use it to put a can on Alzheimer's. Let's see what our local weather has to say compared to what the radar said earlier.
Taking a look at our downtown Portland sky cam, the clouds are slowly starting to come back over, but you have plenty of dry time to get out there and enjoy. Temperatures right now into the 70s. We do have a south wind right now, 5 to 10 miles per hour, with occasional gusts up to 20. This will start to die down as we get towards the later evening hours. So again, plenty of dry and calm conditions. Even across the area, much of us are coming into the low to mid 70s. 76 for Augusta. They're starting to watch the clouds thicken as well. We're watching
This is 15 hours ago.
Front is going to be coming in, and we're going to be watching showers and storms by Saturday. But taking a look at our temperatures for Saturday, we're looking into the mid-50s. Kind of a cool evening, but also it's going to be a rather cool day as well. Temperature highs staying into the low and mid-60s. We'll be watching some patchy fog roll through along with this before some of these showers and even some storms move in pretty heavy at times as we go towards the later half of the afternoon. So pretty much all morning till the afternoon, right around dinner, we'll be watching more pop-up showers and storms. But once we get to the later half of the evening going into midnight Sunday, things will start to gradually clear out. So we do have impact weather there for Saturday. Rain isn't fun as we're talking about another weekend, but it's also another weekend where we do have dry conditions and nice warm temperatures to meet us at the back end. Going into Sunday, we'll have plenty of sunshine once we gradually clear towards the later afternoon. Mid-50s towards the morning, mid-upper 70s towards the late evening time frame. We're going to be looking at sunshine Monday. Clouds build back in for another round of impact weather for Tuesday, bringing more heat and even some humidity along the way. But as we look at the next chance of rain over the next 3 days, much of our rain is going to fall to the higher elevations. The international border is seeing about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall along the coast. That starts to dwindle. So tonight, any chance of rain looks to be higher into the...
Oh.
Is it getting hot here? Is it getting hot here? And by here, I mean the entire U.S.
Not really. The temperatures have relatively remained very close to or exactly the same. But
health of Americans. However, for these tools to serve the American people, we must continue to ensure accessibility and statutory protections for consumer wellness technologies. Secretary Kennedy, my first question is that there is a tremendous amount of research that shows that greater engagement with one's health leads to better outcomes. In recent years, American innovators have created and improved wearable devices so that not only are consumers able to better engage with their health through monitoring data, but they are able to share that data with providers. I believe American consumers, in line with the 21st Century Cures Act, should be able to access these innovative wellness tools. Secretary Kennedy, do you agree that consumers should continue to have access to these tools?
Absolutely. In fact, we're about to launch one of the biggest
campaigns in HHS history will encourage Americans to use wearables. It's a way of people can take control over their own health. They can take responsibility. They can see, as you know, what food is doing to their glucose levels, their heart rates, and a number of other metrics as they eat it. And they can begin to make good judgments about their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the Baja agenda of making America healthy again.
Well, it's not a terrible idea. I do have concerns about the privacy of the matter. Oh, let's dig into it. Okay. So I'm not going to pull up a news story about this one because I don't need to. Here's the thing about birthright citizenship. It's inherently wrong at its core. If your parents come here and they don't do the paperwork, right? And they're here against all federal laws relating to the matter. Here's the thing. Just because your parents gave birth to you here is not what gives you citizenship. It is your parents being citizens that gives you citizenship at the time of your birth. One or more of your parents. Okay. Which means that you have the ability to be born here legally as a citizen and also have an adult that can legally care for you here in the United States. That's what gives you citizenship. It's not your birth here. Okay. Number one. So if I were born from two German illegal immigrants who were fleeing from Germany because of politics or whatever, and I came through the Canadian border and I decided, that I am a citizen because I'm an adult. Technically speaking, that's true, but it's also not. The child in question is actually awarded dual citizenship, and they are legally allowed to return to the United States, but their parents are not. That's how that's handled now. That's the only difference. So you just made it so someone who was born here can come here as a U.S. citizen, but their parents can't. Effectively making it so you get one instead of three. Which, sure, okay, you could argue that one is better than three because of blah, blah, blah. But we also have exceptions to the laws too, by the way. If you don't fill out your paperwork or if you're here illegally and you've proven yourself in some way, shape, or form, you can be exempted by the President of the United States or the Secretary of State, depending on the situation. So there's that too. There are ways around being deported. And it's not for everyone. You have to have proven yourself to be... What's the word? I guess of use is the best way to put it, right? Like, of significant use to the United States. So, like, if you're a doctor who comes over here and you have the cure for cancer, right? Well, we're obviously not going to kick you the fuck out because you are an asset. Not a detriment. See, here's the thing. You're either an asset or a liability. There is no middle ground, okay? Let me explain this. As a low-income streamer who is living with their wife who brings in an income through actually holding a job, she is the asset, I am the liability, right? We both know this and understand this. I'm trying to become the bigger asset so that way she can become the liability. And that's not a bad thing. That is making enough money to where she doesn't have to work anymore. Or vice versa, you know. Both of us, maybe, at some point. I'd like to be able to kick my feet back when I'm old grader. Little camper that we take all across the U.S. and just kind of live out of it once the kids are grown and gone kind of thing. So, yeah. Yeah, I kind of got a lot on my mind right now. The nationwide injunctions being over is probably the best thing that could ever fucking happen. Bar none. Put simply, they should have never been a thing to begin with. Oh. Oh, that kid just died in fucking prison. No, I'm not trying to be a dick or nothing, but like, yeah, no, he just... Uh-oh. Jumpsuit Pablo. I don't usually do React content, but I need to pull up the context for this.
Carmelo Anthony has just publicly announced he has lost the one thing that had any chance of saving him from harm in prison. Amongst the many threats he has faced, including the Aryan gangs who have confirmed they do have him in his crosshairs, and then
oh shit,
based gang, the Insane Vice Lords, who have also had him in their crosshairs or falsely claiming to be a part of their gang, a big no-no in gang culture.
Oh, he's dead. Yep.
And more. His only chance at avoiding these dangers has just been ripped away from him. By who? His own family. Explain. Let's get started.
Uh-oh. Oh, they fucking did, didn't they?
His family is team losers have now claimed that Carmelo Anthony is indigent. Indigent. That brings me back. When I was doing 10 years in prison, indigent was one of the worst insults you could hear.
Uh-oh.
Other than, you know, the obvious cuss words and just, you know, things no man wants to be called. But man, you know how, you know, in the
punk bitch, pedophile, chomo.
You're broke, boy.
You never want to hear those.
Get your bands up. You're broke. Indigent was how you say that in prison, because when you had no money on your canteen account and you went to go on the phone and you can check your canteen account, it would say your funds are indigent. That means you have no money. He's claiming to be indigent. How embarrassing. You raised what, $600,000 for what? The sole purpose listed on your Give, Send, Go for legal defense funds. Now you've hired a public defender, or as inmates refer to them, public pretenders. They pretend to care about you. They pretend like they're gonna work really hard to...
Alright, bouncing through his content here.
Anything but legal defense, which is what it... Now you're gonna continue sending more of your hard-earned to this guy?
No, I'm not. I don't donate unless I see it as a worthy cause.
Most people
Like Save a Fox.
I'm sure some will. But nowhere they are making this racial because we have a new headline where his team is saying they need money, they need to raise money to fight against white supremacy.
Okay, I will never be able to do that hard enough, so... Yeah.
Why am I here? Everything you do out there in the streets.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not familiar with prison from the inside of being in a prison cell. Hopefully I never do. I do know some things about it, being that my family has worked in corrections and law enforcement and military affairs for quite some time. So here's what I understand. From the 1,000-foot view, the entirety of prison, no matter what prison you go to, kind of operates like a giant aquarium, right? Everyone somewhat appears to get along because they have to survive. And in some cases, the tank gets kicked or whatever, and one fish kills another for pick a reason, right? You just introduced the nuclear bomb. You just poisoned the whole damn tank for all of the fucking fish. You literally just introduced fish fight pheromones into the fucking tank by dropping this kid in there with his fucking media personality, frigging supporters going out there saying everyone in prison basically is white supremacist. Because that's what this reads as to an inmate. Okay? And not saying that there aren't real white supremacist gangs in prison, because there definitely fucking are. But every white gang in there is going to be headhunting this fucking kid. Just on principle. And the gangs that aren't white aren't going to fucking protect him either, because they feel like they've been lumped in with this shit too. Uh-huh. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. He's gonna be passed around like a pair of rental shoes at a bowling alley. Yeah, that's a word. He's probably gonna be passed around like a fucking joint at Woodstock. That's another way. Oh my god, no.
Who is, quite literally going to be in the same cell block as Carmelo Anthony?
It's like they're trying to paint a fucking target on this kid to get him killed. It's insane. His own public defenders and his own fucking family. It's like they're doing this shit to get him killed. I can't believe it.
When he gets to prison, you just declared war with him? Virally? Publicly on the internet? Wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. That ain't good. I'll be right back. I gotta go close the hood to the car. Dog's gonna go nuts. Sit and stay, buddy. Yep. And I'm gonna have to drape a tarp over the extension cords. Guess what? I just got the car to start. Well, that's lucky. I guess I mean, hang on. You guys are going to hear something. Guess what? Well, we're still going to have to go get some stuff. I'm not going through this again. No, I looked outside and saw that it was raining, and I was like, oh, God, here we go. So, yeah. That's a plus. I have to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. That way it'll, the alternator will cycle through the battery, right? Look, I don't like coyotes because what they do across the road. If their population was better controlled, then I'd probably be more openly supportive of them.
Oh, hey, hello, coyote. Ow. Come here. Can we be friends? Can we? Ouch. Come here. Let me pet you. Ouch. Ow. Ow. Come here. Let me be friends. Come here, little coyote. Let me pet you. Let me pet you. Ouch. Let me pet you, little coyote. Let me pet you, coyote. Hey. Let me pet you. Ouch. Whoa. Look at. What the hell is that?
Wait! Stop scrolling! We need to talk. Did someone post that video about the 5 reasons why I wouldn't make a good friend on Reddit? Oh, why else am I drawing in messages right now?
Every time they tell me not to do something online like that, I always just kind of want to do it.
I don't know how you did it, but you're a friggin' genius, I guess.
I guess that short charger gave off just enough amperage to fire off the car itself. I'm going to do a little bit of streaming and leave the car running for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to shut it off and make sure it'll start again. And then I'm going to come back and wrap up my streaming for the day, and then right around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or maybe sooner. I don't know. Today's Saturday. I don't really feel like being all up here. I mean, I know a lot of the pro streamers out there would say you're a friggin' pansy ass, but I do kind of feel like we should probably get the other stuff done. I don't know. What do you think, Graham? Should we just go get it done, or?
Yeah, probably.
Alright. So then here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go get this stuff to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And maybe something else at Walmart, because I don't think I had... Well, I mean, I have stuff at for lunch, but we're going to go get some food and some car shit. Because we kind of have to. And I have to run the car, like I actually have to run it to get the alternator to kick off enough voltage to make sure that that friggin' battery restarts the vehicle. And I have to go use the can, and the dog, I guess, made a little bit of a mess, and there's a bunch of other shit I gotta go do too, so here's what we're gonna do. She gets out of work at 4 today. So I'm going to pick her. I'm going to leave the stream running. We're going to be back. I'm going to do streaming basically all day. There's going to be a point in time where it's going to be empty seat for like a half an hour to an hour while I go pick her up at work. I don't want to do it that way because it's kind of scummy, but at the same token, it's just going to have to be how it is. But when she gets back home, I'm going to see if I can convince her to play Path of Exile 2 with me on stream. So, you guys are going to get a freebie bonus today where I have a co-host and we are going to make it work. But I am going to leave all the stream details up the way that it is. That way all I have to do is just come back and hit the button. I'm just going to end it for right now just to save on memory space and electricity consumption. So, anyway, we'll be right back. I forgot what button it was. Control C. Oh, and to the... Uh-oh. What now? Oh, the whole damn thing froze up. Okay. So, and to the... two other platforms that don't function this way. Kick, I'll be back in 2 hours. Rumble will be reloading a second stream in 2 hours. YouTube, it'll be on a separate friggin' stream. I can't do anything about that. It's the way YouTube does their stuff. I can't just recall back into the same stream like I can with the other two. And it'll show up as two different videos on both Rumble and YouTube. Kick is just going to be a generic stream, to which point we will be doing Path of Exile 2. But until then, I'm going to take 2 hours and go get my shit in order. And then you guys are going to get me all day, except for the half hour to an hour I have to go pick her up.